Om Vishwam Darpana Drishyamana Nagari Tulyan Nijantargatam Pashyannatmani Mayaya Bahirivot Bhutan Yatha Nidraya Yasakshat Kurute Prabodh Samaye Svatmanameva Dvayam Tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye Namahidam Shri Dakshinamurtaye Bijasyantarivangkuro Jagadidam Prangnirvikalpam Punaha Maya Kalpita Deshakala Kalana Vaichitra Chitri Kritam Maya Viva Vijrumbhayatya Vimaha Yogi Vayasvechaya Tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye Namahidam Shri Dakshinamurtaye Tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye Namahidam Shri Dakshinamurtaye Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai Om Shanti 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 Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Bande Guru Paramparam Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Grathitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshiniim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambatvamanusandanami Bhagavad Gite Bhavadveshinim Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha Stunvanti Divyaistavaihi Vedai Sangapadakramopanishadaihi Gayanti Yam Samaga Dhyanavasthitatangate manasa Pashyanti Yam Yoginaha Yasyantam na vidussura suraganaha Devaya Tasmai Namah Devaya Tasmai. So we are in chapter 9, but I am just giving a little background of this chapter. The previous chapter, the chapter 8, in that number of topics were discussed, and one of the topic was gaining Brahmaloka by meditating on Ishvara. This is the highest gain one can think of in human life. To gain Brahmaloka is something very exalted. So by doing Saguna Brahma Dhyanam, Ishvara Dhyanam, meditating on Lord for a number of time in your number of years, but ultimately leaves the body and goes to Brahmaloka. That is what Shastra says, and we accept it. And then you go there, gain knowledge that you are Brahman, etc., and become free. Then you have not to return. Knowing you are free from birth and death, etc., you will not, because that individual is not there to take birth. Because the Brahmaji has taught you are not an individual, you are Brahman, the very cause of the creation. So we may get an idea after studying chapter 8 that Ishvara Dhyanam is ultimately the means for gaining moksha. Meditating on Ishvara, one gains a moksha. Bhagavan wants to remove that notion. That means gaining moksha will not be a phenomena in this life. You have to do Dhyanam, and then you leave the body, go to Brahmaloka, gain knowledge and become free. Which is not the case. Bhagavan wants to say one can be free in this life itself. So there is no question of gaining Videha Mukti. Videha Mukti means gaining a Sadhya Mukti. Later, no. In this life itself, one can gain the knowledge that Atma is free. Gaining knowledge of the Atma which is free from birth, death, etc., free from any change. Well, knowing that this is a reality of you, then you are free. You don't take yourself to be an individual who is subject to birth and death. And so Bhagavan wants to give that knowledge and also wants to remove that notion that mukti, etc., is not a phenomena, some phenomena, or which is a result of just meditating on Ishvara. It's gaining knowledge here itself, exposing yourself to the teaching of Vedanta, etc. One becomes free. Becomes free means one is free, one comes to know that one is free. That's it. And for that purpose, this chapter Bhagavan has, initially itself in 3 verses, Bhagavan wants to say that this knowledge of Ishvara, knowledge of Atma, knowledge of Brahman, is the subject matter here in this. He introduces this in first 3 verses of this chapter. And in the very first verse he says, Idantu te guhyatamam pravakshami anasuyave jnanam vijnana sahitam yajgnatva mokshase ashubhat. So, this is Idantu te guhyatamam, most secret knowledge. Guhyatamam jnanam, idam, which I am going to tell you. Idam means this, which I am going to narrate to you. Pravakshami, I am going to tell you in detail. Anasuyave means, oh Arjuna, which is free from any kind of a jealousy, etc. Jnanam vijnana sahitam, I am going to give you that knowledge of Ishvara, which is nothing but a knowledge of the self, immediate knowledge, that's called vijnanam. Yajgnatva, knowing which, ashubhat mokshase, you will be released from all that is unauspicious in this life. Fear, anxiety, subject to change, etc., etc., all. You become free from the bondage. Bondage is something which you cannot get rid of it, which you want to get rid of it, but you cannot get rid of it. This is all our life is. Fear of death, fear of old age, everything. So, Ashubhat Mokshase, you will become free. So, this is the first 3 verses, and then verse 4 to 10, Bhagavan described the real nature of Ishvara, etc., which is nothing but the nature of Atma. And then in 11th verse, Bhagavan gave the reason of this bondage, samsara karanam. And verse 12 to 19, Bhagavan described a bhakti as a sadhanam. It's a series of sadhanam which leads to Atma Jnanam and give you a moksha. And who is that bhakta? Definitely, he is a jignasu bhakta because he wants to know. Bhagavan said in 7 chapters, 4 types of bhaktas are there. So, Chaturvida bhajante mam janaha sukrito no Arjuna arto artharthi jignasu jnani cha bharatarshava. So, there are several types, several bhaktas. Chaturvida bhajante mam, people. Bhagavan says people are seeking me, relating to me in 4-fold ways. That's how they all are bhaktas. But artha bhakta, who wants to get rid of certain obstacle in one's life which is a cause of the suffering. Bhagavan, please make me free from all obstacles. That's called artha bhakta. Artharthi, who wants something. Artharthi means some material gain. We worship because we relate to Ishvara for that purpose also. Artharthi. Then jignasu. One wants to know. One wants to know what? Ishvara. He says, knowing Ishvara, I become free. Means knowing Ishvara in essence is knowing oneself. Then only you become free. So, jignasu. So, here definitely bhakti is a sadhanam which is described in verse 12 to 19. And what kind of bhakta? This jignasu bhakta who wants to know Ishvara. And I will give you a gist of verse 12 to 9 so we will understand what is that bhakti which we should know. Because we also want to know. We want to know the self, we want to know the Brahman, which is nothing but the self. So that is verse 12 to, especially 13 to 19, in which this bhakti as a sadhanam has been revealed. What these bhaktas, jignasus are doing, that has been told. So in verse 13, if you see, Mahatmanastu mam partha daivim prakriti mashritaha bhajanti nanya manasah jnatva bhutadi mavyayam. Bhagavan says these jignasu bhaktas are mahatmas. Means, whose mind is big. Whose atma is big? No. Atma is big anyway. So, Mahan Atma means whose Atma is big. Everyone's Atma is big. Atma is the big. There is nothing other than Atma. But whose mind is big. Very compassionate, very accommodating. They are called Mahatmas. And further says, Daivim Prakriti Mashritaha. Daivim. Well, they have Prakriti. Prakriti means a disposition. Their disposition is a Daivim Prakriti. Their disposition is a very sattvic, godly disposition. They have a certain self-control and they have other qualification like Shraddha, in Ishvara, in the Shastra, etc. And what they do? Bhajanti ananya manasaha bhutadi mam avyayam bhajanti. So, they are seeking me, bhajanti. So, they are seeking me. But what kind of a me? Bhutadim mam. Bhutadim. Bhut means all this creation. Adi. Adi padat, cause. Adi means which is cause. So, Bhutadim mam. I am the very cause of the entire creation. I lend existence to the entire universe. Whole universe becomes an object of knowledge. Things are known, unknown to you. All is because of I, the consciousness. Well, they worship me, they seek me like this, that I am the very cause of the creation. Ananya manasaha. And those people, well, these people whose minds are not distracted by anything else, focused on this goal. So through Viveka, well, they have understood the Purushartha, their mind cannot go to any other thing. Our minds get distracted only by the material goals. That's the only thing which distracts us. Because we find certain things very attracting, very promising in our life. What really speaking, we are attracted to the joy and security, nothing else, frankly speaking. We are not attracted to anything else. Or we are attracted to peace, security, joy. What else? Nothing else. So, and those things I find something somewhere promising. Some person, well, he gives me more security. Some place gives me some peace. Certain place gives me joy. Certain objects which I experience gives me joy. This is how our mind has distracted. No, they have done this Purushartha Viveka. They know that the source of joy, security and peace cannot be other than Ishvara. These are all inert objects. Whether themselves are time bound. The whole world is time bound. Itself is insecure. Everything is insecure. Today it is with you, tomorrow it won't be there. Or you may go away or the thing will go away. Either way. Whole world is changing moment to moment. It is all time bound. What is time bound cannot remain. It is always changing and change will be up to that it will go away totally. In that case, nothing can be the object of a security. Nothing can be an object of joy. Joy means fullness. Every object is limited. And therefore, it cannot give you fullness, basically. And therefore, ultimately, what I am really seeking is not security. I am really seeking a freedom from insecurity. I am really not seeking objects of joy. What I am seeking is, I want to get rid of this displeased self. The self which I am seeing myself as a displeased, a lacking, etc. I want to get rid of it. And therefore, I am basically interested in freedom. Freedom from insecurity, freedom from displeased self, freedom from lack, freedom from limitation, freedom from uneasiness centered on I. Yeah, that is the only reason one is not able to sit with oneself. Otherwise, why should not I sit with myself? If I am really comfortable with myself, I should sit with myself. But I am not able to sit. That shows I am not comfortable. Some discomfort is there, right? As I sit with myself, getting retired from everything, sit with myself. I can't sit. I have to get up and go out or something I have to do. That shows in my awareness, I am not comfortable. I am displaced. I want to get rid of it. So these people have basically discerned that what I really want is a freedom, not I am interested in some objects, etc. And therefore they are ananya manasaha. They know through the apadata jnanam, through some knowledge gained here and there, reading some book, attending some satsang, they have come to know the self is the source of comfort, self is limitless, etc. All this self is the source of, which is timeless, which is the source of security, and therefore they are focused. Ananya manasaha. These jignasu bhaktas I am talking about, they are like that. Then Bhagavan says in 14th verse, Satatam kirtayanto maam yatantasya dhradavrataha namasyantasya maam bhaktya nityayukta upasate. Satatam kirtayantaha. They always, these jignasu bhaktas, appreciate my glories, not ordinary glory, because Bhagavan said, Maya tatamidam sarvam jagadavyakta murtina, etc., etc. in this 9th chapter itself. Matsthani sarvabhutani nachaham teshu vasthitah nachamatthani bhutani. Well, all beings, things have their being in me. I am the only being. You feel there are several beings. Billions of beings are there. No. Being in everyone is me alone. I lend existence to everything. And therefore I am the being. You feel this is, and that means this is when you say this has its own being. No. That existence is given by me. All exist in me. Masthani sarvabhutani, Bhagavan said. So basically all beings have their things and beings have a being in me, and I am free from all of them. Nachamasthani bhutani, nachaham teshu vasthitah, etc., etc. My existence does not depend upon them. And this is wonder. They have their being in me, I am not in them, etc. They are also not in me. All this is a great wonder. So, without even a change, a little bit, even iota of a change, he appears in this entire creation, which is constantly changing. That is, he is the basis. He is the basis of the entire creation, which is constantly changing. And the basis or truth of the entire creation is changeless Brahman. It's a great wonder. Constantly changing. So he does not do anything, yet he is the creator. He does not do anything, he is still a sustainer. He does not do anything, still he is a resolve of the whole creation. So this is a great wonder. Well, so these jignasu bhaktas are singing his glories like this. Kirtayantah, Bhagavan says, Satatam. Because ultimately that is the goal of life. So what is the goal of life? You always ponder over it. Whatever you do, keeping that in the center. One who wins the world becomes, one who wins this world championship in chess, his whole life is centered on this, right? So, that is how it is. So, all these jignasu bhaktas know that the fundamental problem in human life is this. And then a problem of limitation, problem of bondage, problem of dependency. And I want to get rid of it. I love independence. That shows it should be my nature. Well, that independence is because the self is independent. Self is free from the effect of time, place and everything. That is the Ishvara. And therefore, the knowledge between me, the distance between me and Ishvara is in terms of ignorance. It is not in terms of place. That cannot be a distance between me and Ishvara in terms of place. If it is, then Ishvara is not a Ishvara. Because he is at one place and I am at another place. He is also limited in one place, I am limited in another place. If he is a limited in place, he is not a Ishvara. He is like me, individual, right? And therefore, ultimately, if I find a distance between me and Ishvara, me and my goal, well, it is in terms of ignorance. Ignorance creates the same distance as if the distance of a place, right? Ignorance creates the same distance. I search everywhere, thinking I have really lost somewhere. It is right here, but not knowing the ignorance of my own spectacles, which is here, right on my head, create the same distance as if I have lost somewhere, in some place, etc. So therefore, these jignasu bhaktas, definitely they are constantly striving. Yatantaha, Bhagavan says. Yatantaha, they are constantly striving. They are striving in terms of what? Putting a lot of efforts in terms of what? Shravanam, mananam, etc. They expose themselves to the teaching. They want to understand, well, how the self is Brahman, how self is limitless, they want to understand. It's some terms of ignorance and some notions, they want to get rid of it. And for that, well, of course, right kind of mind is required. When you go to Shastra and Shastra says you are Brahman and you think, well, I don't understand. I don't understand what teacher is telling. You are limitless and what is you are the cause of the creation, I just can't appreciate it. Well, no problem. You require a right frame of mind. So yatantah means you are also trying to create a right frame of mind so that you gain the knowledge that is required. And what is right frame of mind is, well, certain fences. Right frame of mind means which is able to appreciate the reality. That's it. I am able to appreciate the reality. Nobody lives in a objective world. One always lives in a subjective world. Whenever you meet a person, for a moment you may feel, well, you look upon person as just a person. But next time if you meet, well, you have a certain likes and dislikes or some kind of a fancies or whatever will be there. So you always you always perception, you always filter through your likes and dislikes, fancies, etc. That's how we live in our own world. That's how we have divided also world. Even the world is one entity, and that is Ishvara. We have divided into favorable, unfavorable, good, bad, etc. We have done all kinds of things. It's all depending upon one's own fences. And therefore one has to get rid of it, fences. Then you will be able to see the reality as it is. And the reality is what is Ishvara. That's the reality. No, Swamiji, I am not able to appreciate it. Why? Because I find the world is like this. We have our own definition, our own perception of the world. One has to definitely get rid of it. So you have to strive for getting rid of fences also. Certain mastery over mind, etc. Anyway, so some compassion. Compassion is not something which comes like that. Nobody is born with compassion. It's not natural. Any value, good values you want to cultivate, well, definitely you have to fake it till you are able to make it really. If you really want to be a compassionate person, well, you have to develop this. You have to act as though you are compassionate. If you start acting like that, even though you don't have, but you act out that you are a very compassionate person, in course of time you find that it has germinated now. Yeah. So this is how. Even non-injury, etc. also, well, you find it is germinating. Maybe I may be hurting others in terms of my speech, etc. So I act out in a way, I use purposely certain words which are very sweet and non-hurting, etc. And so by that, by being deliberate about these values, you find that those values you are able to inculcate now. They are germinating in you. So this is how yatantaha dhradavrataha. And then these jignasu bhaktas, I'm talking about this bhakti as a sadhanam. And what these bhaktas are doing. It has been described between 13th to 19th verse. And dhradavrataha, their commitment is firm. They undertake this pursuit of knowledge or moksha with commitment. Bhagavan further says, Mam bhaktya namasyantaha, the whole pursuit is done in an atmosphere of a devotion. They are seeking, well, grace of Ishvara. And it indicates that they cannot claim a credit for any achievement. They achieve mastery over mind, they will have a compassion, they will have a non-injury, all these things they will develop. They don't claim that we have mastery over mind, etc. Because an atmosphere of a bhakti, there is a prayerful heart, and therefore they always feel it is a grace of Ishvara that we have inculcated these values, etc. So they can't claim, well, credit for any achievement. Namasyantaha, those who surrender, who have a prayerful heart in their pursuit. So it goes hand in hand. This pursuit of knowledge goes hand in hand with pursuit of even prayer also. Goes hand in hand. So whatever they achieve spiritually also, well, they always feel it is because of the grace of Ishvara. This is the lakshana of a bhakta, jignasu bhakta. Then in verse 15 it said, Jnana Yajnena Chapyanye Yajanto Mam Upasate Ekatvena Pruthaktena Bahuda Vishwato Mukham. Anye means these people who have this disposition, sattvic disposition, etc. Daivi Prakriti Bhagavan uses. And who are distinct from the people who have a Rajasic Prakriti, Rakshasi Prakriti, Bhagavan says here in the 12th verse. Moghasha moga karmanaha moga jnana vichetasaha rakshasi masurim chaiva. These people are distinct. That's how word anya use. Anya means they are different from what? Different from these people who have a Rakshasi Prakriti, very Rajoguna. Asuri Prakriti, they are hurting others everywhere. Rakshasi Prakriti means Rajoguna means they always want to achieve something. They are in the process of basically, because they want to enjoy, they want to accomplish few things. This is a Rajoguna. So these people are quite distinct from them. The people with a Daivi Prakriti. So, and the people with this Daivi Prakriti, what they do? Jnana Yagnena Yajantaha Mam Upasate. Well, knowledge alone is the ritual. Jnana Yajna. Knowledge alone is the ritual for these people. Object of knowledge is Bhagavan, right? Here. So just because they do not perform a regular rituals doesn't mean that they are not bhaktas. Well, they are worshipping. Even we right now, we are all bhaktas. Even though we are not doing puja or japa, etc. Well, Swamiji, we are sitting like this and not facing Ishvara, etc. and not doing japa, etc. Are we bhaktas? You are bhaktas. Jnana Yagnena Yajantaha, Bhagavan says. So basically, even though you are not performing a regular ritual, etc. right now, it doesn't mean you are not a bhakta. Because Bhagavan says he worships me by invoking me in the form of knowledge, in the pursuit of knowledge. His yajna is merely jnanam. And mam vishwato mukham upasate, and this jignasu bhaktas will also worship me of vishwato mukham. They worship me. Vishwato means, mukham means face. Vishwataha means in all faces, in all forms. So, upasate, these people, these jignasu bhaktas, they worship me in many forms, all forms. Means I am the cause of everything, I am the maker and material of everything. Well, this is how they worship. I am being the material of everything, whatever is there is me alone, right? So all forms are me alone, or my forms. So that's how they worship. I am in the form of these Panchabhutas, I am in the form of these elements, I am in the form of the elemental creation, made up of elements, everything is me. That's how we worship also. We worship all 5 elements. In fact, there are temples for worshipping 5 elements. In the Tamil Nadu and Andhra, you find element. Chidambaram there, Akasha is worshipped. And like that, there are several. Anyway, so I'm in the form of all. Sun, moon, clouds, all are, well, all these devatas are also me, etc., etc. So, ekatvena pruthaktena upasate. They worship me as pruthaktena means I am distinct from everything. I am just Brahman, I am consciousness, limitless consciousness. And therefore, they worship me even as I am distinct from everything. So, I mean, they are seeking me in form of the Atma. That is the one thing. And ekatvena upasate means I am the one who is in the form of everything. That way also they worship me. So they look upon even themselves also like this. That well, whatever is there is nothing but is not a separate from this consciousness or Atma. No thought is free from consciousness naturally. So I am basically free from thoughts. Where thoughts are there or not, this is how they are looking upon. Because ultimately they want to know the Ishvara as oneself. So they are doing even this also. So I am free from all thoughts. Consciousness is free from thoughts. All thoughts are consciousness ultimately. Anyway, so Matsthani Sarva Bhutani, Nacha Masthani Bhutani, etc. Anyway, so they worship Ishvara as one who is present in various forms also. Vishwato Mukham. Ishvara is in the form of everything. So Ishvara is in the form of everything. That's a too general statement. That doesn't really, we don't assimilate the knowledge of Ishvara like that. So, well, then Bhagavan thought, let me tell few forms. I am in form of this, I am in form of that. So it is It is good. So Ishvara is in form of everything. It doesn't give much understanding. It's a too general statement. Anyway, and therefore Bhagavan wants to give few details. And he gives those details here in this chapter 9 as well as chapter 10. All Vibhuti Yoga. So he wants to give certain detail. I am in the form of this, I am in the form of this, I am in the form of this. It doesn't mean we have to go into complete detail. So in complete detail you cannot. You have to sit with the dictionary and start, I am in the form of apple. Bhagavan says, I am in the form of this. No. That is not fair. That you cannot get it. I mean, you cannot finish the list. Therefore, few forms. I am in form of everything is too general statement. Then am I in the form of A, B, C, D, whatever it comes. That is also too much. So in between. That's how in 9th chapter you will find now. And from verse 16 onwards, that Bhagavan starts. I am in the form of yajna, I am in the form of the offering, etc., etc. I am in the form of devta, etc. So he gives those details little bit in this chapter as well as 10th chapter. Then in verse number 16 he starts. Aham kratu aham yajnah swada aham aham aushadam mantro aham evajyam aham agni aham hutam. So first he says, well, I am the whole ritual, some Vedic ritual, yajna. And I am, means Ishtaut karma. The rituals are all prescribed by the Veda. So it's called Shruti means Veda. So the ritual prescribed by the Veda or a Shruti is called Shrauta karma. Then other pujas, etc. also prescribed by worships, prescribed by other smritis. They are called smartha karmas. Bhagavan says, I am a smartha karma, I am the ritual, shrauta karma. I am the food that is offered even to the ancestors, mains, etc. I am the food in general. I am the very chants which are used in the Vedic ritual. I alone is this ajyam ghee which is offered in the fire, and I am the very fire. So whatever is there in the ritual, you are seeing, you are experiencing, you are participating in the ritual. Well, if you are a Jignasu Bhakta, well, right now you can relate to me like this. I am in the form of fire, I am in the form of this, etc. This is how you start seeing Ishvara in many things ultimately. And then Upanishad tells you, Ishavasam idam sarvam, whatever is there is Ishvara. Well, you will be able to assimilate that vision. So that is how Bhagavan starts this description. Then in 17th verse, Bhagavan gives some more details. Pita hamasya jagatah mata data pitamaha vedyam pavitram omkaraha ruksamaya jurevacha. I am in the form of a omkara, and I am pita hamasya jagatah. Aham jagatah pita. I am the father of the entire world. Then what? Mata. I am the mother. Dhata. Well, I am the very sustainer. I am the cause of everything. Pita mahaha. I am the father of the father. Then again, there will be, who is a father of the father of the father. So no. Pitamaha means ultimately he is the father of the father. That's it. We have to understand. Ultimate father, ultimate mother. I am the parents of the entire creation. I am the cause of the entire creation. And I am not caused by anybody. I don't have parents. So I am uncaused cause. I am uncaused cause of the entire creation. Definitely. And then, Vedyam, well, I am the thing what is to be known. Anything in this world, one cannot know a given thing completely. A given thing is not known completely. Even you may say, this is a part, so we have known it. Or this is a clay, we have known it. No. What is clay? Then then we have to give it for analysis to the scientist. Then they will say, well, this is atoms. So, and then that is also not final. So that is how they analyze a given thing and stop there and give a name, atoms. That's the reality. Then they further analyze. They reach to some particles. That's how they give name, particles. And then they stop. They put a boundary there. Then they further analyze. They further analyze. So for a given object also, we don't have a complete knowledge. Till today, even through the science, we don't have complete knowledge of this. What is it? Well, not known completely. But then Swamiji, all these things are known. These are all standpoints. These atoms is a standpoint of knowing this part. Or these are particles. This is also a standpoint. Because you put a boundary and you say this is what. Then but you further analyze. You get another standpoint. You get another standpoint. You get another standpoint. What Vedanta says is this is Asti Bhati Priyam. This is Atma. This is Ishvara. This is Brahman. Satchidananda. In this form. Final. Well, all right. The Satchidananda Brahman, the whole, well, manifest in this form. This is Mithya form. That's the final word. Which lends existence to this, etc., etc. So this is how Bhagavan says what is to be known, really speaking, is me alone. Knowing me, well, you do not have any, you don't require to know anything else. That's how in Upanishad we always find this statement. Sarvam, what is that in Mundaka Upanishad? Yena vijnanena sarvamidam vijnatam bhavati tad vijnanam asti, etc., etc. So by knowing one thing, well, a whole thing is as though known. The cause, knowing the cause, the effect will be known completely. Knowing the gold, entire shop of all these ornaments is known. Then you can go in details if you want. Well, birth date of a particular chain and etc., etc. And what is its weight and this and that. But essentially you have known. Because whole chain or a ring or a bangle is nothing but gold. So Ishvara being the cause of everything, if you know Ishvara, everything is as well known. That's what Bhagavan means. So Vedyam, well, what is to be known is me alone. I am the cause of the entire creation. And then Bhagavan says, Pavitram, well, I am the one who purifies everything. Definitely, knowledge of Atma purifies everything. Nahi jnanena sadrusham pavitram iha vidyate. So, basically there is nothing other than the knowledge of the self which is purifying. Because everyone takes oneself to be all the time, I'm basically, all impurities. Especially, you will not talk from the standpoint of the gross body, but from the standpoint of mind. Well, I am Swamiji, I have a lot of jealousy, I have this, I am angry, I am this, likes and dislikes, etc. All impurities. Bhagavan says, well, it is in mind. Basically, the self is free from everything. Name dvesha ragav, name lobha moho, name mado naiva, me naiva, matsarya bhavaha, chidananda rupa, shivoham shivoham. Therefore, this is Bhagavan says, this, I am the one who purifies everything. Knowledge of Atma, knowledge of Brahman purifies everything. Anyway, and then Omkara, I am the Omkara. Omkara is, well, understanding Omkara is understanding Brahman. Understanding Brahman is understanding Omkara. Don't think Omkara is a name and it reveals a object. Like pot is a name. But pot name is not pot object, right? Pot name is not pot object. Same way, Swamiji, Omkara is a name of Lord. It reveals Paramatma, which is object of this name called Omkara. No. Om means Brahman. Brahman means Om. That's what Mandukya Upanishad reveals. The very first two mantras itself. The equation between Omkara and Brahman. Everything is Omkara here in this creation. Whatever is there is Om. And then very next mantra says, whatever is there is Brahman. Therefore, Om is Brahman. I am not going in detail, but therefore Bhagavan mentions here, I am Omkara. So chanting Om, well, one can definitely dwell upon Omkara. Yeah. The silence between two Omkara, successive chants, is the nature of Parmeshwara, that is silence, etc., etc. So, anyway, so these are the, like this from verse 13 to 19, Bhakti is shown as a remedy, sadhanam for the getting rid of samsara. So Jignasus are doing this kind of Bhakti. They are bhaktas. So Bhakti is an atmosphere of ultimately love, Shraddha and reverence in which one does karma, offers karma called karma yoga, one meditates on glories of Lord, upasana, and one definitely understands Paramatma as oneself, jnanam. All this karma and upasana and jnanam, all that is, one does in connection with Ishvara. So, this is how it has been in these verses. Actually, the bhakti is shown as a means for gaining moksha. This is how it is. And in 9th chapter itself, Bhagavan is going to tell in 27th verse that even offering karmas also for my sake, yat karoshi yadashnasi yat juhoshi dadasi yat tapasyasi kaunteya tat kurushva madarpanam. Whatever this person, this bhakta converts every action into an offering of Ishvara. Upasana, meditating on glories of Ishvara, and also knowing Ishvara as oneself. We are in the process, doing Shravana Mananam Nididhyasanam. So this is how the bhakti has been shown in 3 stages like this. First is a karma yoga, second is a upasana, meditation on Ishvara, third is a jnanam in form of identity between me and Ishvara. So it grows slowly. This karma yoga helps you to get rid of certain likes and dislikes, fancies, etc. And this upasana definitely helps you to gain a mind which is quiet, which is a focusing mind, which is an abiding mind. Because what happens is, generally whatever anxieties we have, stress we have, concerns we have, fears we have, the only basis is our likes and dislikes. That's it. I want to gain certain thing, and what I gain as a desirable thing, I want to retain. That's it. All our concerns, it is going to come. All our concerns is this. That's it. I want to gain because I like it. And once I gain it, I want to retain it also in the same form, not in other form. Other form it is not desirable to me. I want to retain the given thing in the same form. Unfortunately, it doesn't remain in the same form. Anything doesn't remain in the same form, and therefore you dislike it also. You throw it also. You don't care for it later. Anyway, our whole struggle is this. And mind remains so much agitated whole day for this. Either for retaining, either for gaining. And we find I have a stress and I have anxiety and I have fears, and Swamiji, there could be very genuine reasons. Genuine reasons are nothing but our own fancies on a given things, certain projection. This is really a desirable thing. A given thing is not really desirable. If it is a desirable, the whole billions of people will desire it. There is no one thing in this world which is desirable by entire humanity. Not. There is no one place in this world which is desirable by the entire humanity. No. That shows your own projection. Yeah. Nothing is created as a desirable or undesirable. It's all manifestation of Ishvara. We project on a given thing as a desirable, undesirable, good, bad, etc. And then we struggle to gain it or want to retain it also. Undesirable means we want to get rid of it or to try to avoid it. This is what samsara is. This is the cause of our anxiety, stress and hypertension and diabetes and all. Our own issues, because ultimately everything is psychosomatic. I can say now, scientists are all saying, whatever is, if your mind is sick, your body is going to be sick. Anyway, so even after getting rid of this likes and dislikes, etc., through karma yoga, offering our actions to Ishvara, while keeping in dharma in the view, etc., I'm not going because it's not a topic here. But still, mind wanders because mind is dynamic. Mind keeps wandering. And it has to be like that. But then, we want mind to be focused, to be quiet for the study. We want the mind to be an abiding for ultimately meditating on self. So for that, upasana. That's another second stage of bhakti. First is a karma yoga, offering actions to Ishvara. And the second is this. And third is a jnanam. That is also bhakti. That's how Shankaracharya ji says in a Vivek Chudamani, Swarupa Anusandhanam bhaktihi iti abhidiyate. Initially itself, in 12th, 13th verse, I don't remember right now, swaswarupa anusandhanam. Constantly meditating upon oneself, contemplating upon one's own real nature is called bhakti. So anyway, and so doing Shravanam and Nidhyasanam also is finally bhakti. So karma yoga or upasana or even this. And Bhagavan said, while describing many yajnas, in the 4th chapter Bhagavan said that this jnana yajna, knowing oneself, the identity between myself and Ishvara, is the highest form of a yajna. Highest form of a yajna. So Shreyan Dravyamayat Yajnat Jnana Yajnah Parantapa Sarvam Karma Khilam Partha Jnane Parisamapyate. Well, so Jnana Yajna is superior to any yajna. That's what Bhagavan said. So means he becomes a Jnani Bhakta. That's how Bhagavan said 4 types of Bhaktas. Bhagavan described the Jnani also as a Bhakta. And also Bhagavan showed a little partiality. That this Jnani is very dear to me and I am very dear to him. That's true. That's very true. Because Atma alone is the dear thing. There is nothing else. We feel there are so many things which I love. Really speaking, you love anything for your own sake. That's Atmanastu Kamaya Sarvam Priyam Bhavati. Brihadaranyaka Upanishad says, everyone loves oneself. No one loves anything else. I mean, it is not fair, but to say, but it's a fact. That's how a given thing becomes a given thing does not remain as an object of love, provided if that thing evokes in me a displeased self. If a given thing evokes in me a displeased self, I hate that thing. So ultimately I love myself actually. One loves oneself. That's how a big discussion in a Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Navare patyuh kamaya pati priyo bhavati, atmanastu kamaya pati priyo bhavati, Navare jayaye kamaya jaya priya bhavati, atmanastu kamaya jaya priya bhavati, Navare sarvasya kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati, atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. So Yajnavalkya teaches to his wife, Maitreyi, and shows this. Navare patyuh kamaya pati priyo bhavati. Don't think that you love husband. You love yourself. Well, basically, just if a husband really you love it because the person while relating to you evokes a pleased self in you. You love a pleased self. You don't love anything else. Because love always follow the joy. Love always follow joy. Wherever the joy is, there the love is. That's how it is. And therefore you love basically a pleased self. You love joy. So person evokes in you a pleased self, evokes a joyous self, then you love. The moment a person evokes a displeased self, you hate it. So really speaking, the love is for oneself. I mean, this is not that we have to declare to anyone that really speaking, I don't love anybody, I love myself. You should not say that. One should know this. This is a question of knowing actually. Anyway, so Bhagavan said, Jnani Bhakta, I love Jnanis. Jnani loves me because the Atma of Jnani or Ishvara is one, Brahman alone. So when we say Bhakti gives moksha, well, we have to understand all the 3 levels of Bhakti. Karma Yoga, Upasana, and ultimately Jnanam. Karma Yoga and Upasana helps you to prepare for knowledge, and Jnanam ultimately gives you knowledge and you will become free. So if you just do puja, just do japa, etc., just visit temples, that's not enough to gain moksha. That is enough to gain grace of Ishvara, by which obstacles in your path to gain knowledge will go away. So all these are sadhanam. But since I am doing some japa, that will give me moksha. No. You have to know yourself as non-separate from, identical to the Brahman or Ishvara. So this is 12 to 19. Then verse 20 to 29, Bhagavan divides this, why I am taking, because we are on verse 21, And so I have to give you the whole thing. Because suddenly if I start talking about 21, you feel what has gone in these verses or in the whole chapter previously, you will not know. That's how I gave you the whole background. And now in this verse 20 to 29, Bhagavan again divides this bhakti or devotion into twofold. Earlier it was a threefold, based on means, karma, upasana and jnanam. So he divided bhakti into means wise, threefold. Now he divides into twofold, attitude wise, motive wise he divides. He says, and that is Sakama bhakti and Nishkam bhakti. Sakama bhakti means a certain motive behind the devotion. A certain motive. Well, you are seeking grace of Ishvara for what? That's a question. I am visiting temple every day. For what? I am doing puja. For what? I am doing japa. For what? So you are doing bhakti. For what? So that's a division. So there are two types of bhaktas. Both relate to Ishvara, but definitely for a different motive. Motive is different, etc. So, this bhakti can become a sadhanam for achieving moksha, as I told you. This jignasu bhakti I already told you. And instead person relates to Ishvara through puja or through japa, physically, mentally, etc. for gaining artha, kama and dharma, for gaining punyam, for gaining certain objects of security, for gaining certain objects of pleasures. For that also you are seeking Ishvara's grace. So they are also bhakta. So definitely, so Bhagavan divides here the bhakti now in, the division is based on a motive. Sakam bhakti, Nishkam bhakti. Based on certain desires. Kama means a desire. Desire for a certain material things, worldly things. Nishkama bhakti means the desire for not worldly things. Then what kind of a desire, Swamiji? Desire for Ishvara himself. Yeah. One has a desire for the worldly things, takes help of Ishvara. One desires Ishvara himself, nothing else. Nishkama bhakti. So even though it is a kama, but we don't call it as a kama because ultimately they want to become free from the samsara, etc. So this is how. So in verse 21 itself, Bhagavan describes this Sakama bhaktas. What are they doing and what they desire through that, those means, etc. He describes that. And this Sakama bhaktis, even you can say that artharthis. Artharthi. They want certain things. Artha means in terms of artha, kama and dharma, etc. So basically their life is like a play of a snakes and ladder. So they gain, certain things. They perform a certain ritual. That's what it is going to describe. They perform a certain ritual. Why they are performing a ritual? They want punyam, Ishvara's grace. They want to earn punyam. For what? They want to go into some higher lokas to enjoy them. So they reach there, and definitely it's a ladder. And then they fall. It's a snake. So the snake and ladder game is there for the Sakama bhaktas. That is what has been. And that game goes on and on. You can play that game as many times as you want, right? So every time you play a game, so definitely you gain something, and any gain ultimately is not a gain which keeps us in good humor throughout the life. That's for sure. Any gain we gain ultimately gives a certain kick, and that kick just goes away, And then object is lying as it is, you don't care for it. Your eye is somewhere else now to achieve that thing. This is called samsara. So it is so Sakama bhakti, Sakama bhaktas are basically, they are doing all rituals and all. And they are seeking grace of Ishvara, they are bhaktas basically. But they don't want Ishvara. They want help of Ishvara to gain something else. That is that. That's what Sakam bhakti is. So that is being said here in verse 21. Tetam bhuktva swargalokam vishalam kshine punye martyalokam vishanti Evam trayi dharmam anuprapannaha gatagatam kama kama labhante. Vishalam Swargalokam, Vishalam, vast heaven, Swargalokam, vast heaven. So vast, why heaven is called vast by Bhagavan? Because vastness in terms of time. Yeah. Compared to this world, that world and the people there and the objects there are basically enjoy a great length of time. That's how Swarga is called. Basically, one who are resident, the people who are resident of the Swarga, we call them Devas, Amaraha, immortals, etc. And the objects also, well, basically are plenty. That way also vastness. Objects have a lot of variety. Swamiji, we have also a lot of variety here. Compared to, you have not seen that. That's how you feel you have a variety. When you don't know, when you are exposed to something more, then you find, oh, what we were experiencing was nothing. So right now we say we don't care for this Swarga. But I'm telling you, the fact that suppose if you have a Shraddha and if you come to know that such a thing is there, such a world is there with a plenty of objects and varieties of objects, and for that you have not to put effort to basically enjoy them, just to see them and you get a pleasure. Well, that is not the case. Here, suppose a food is good, suppose a very sumptuous lunch has been prepared, but you have to walk in this cold and go to the dining hall, and then also stand in a queue, take the plate and all that, and then you start, right? Then you get joy. In Swarga, all objects are there. All varieties of the things have been prepared very well with a divine smell, divine taste. You have to add divine everywhere. This is all divine. And those objects you can, because you have a body in which, it's a Devata's body. So, you have not to put so much of effort, right? Human body means a lot of effort. There you get the body in which, you simply see those objects and get the pleasure, satisfaction. You hear, there are certain music also very much. Here you have to buy a ticket, go to the stadium and all. I have heard there are sometimes some concerts for which the people stand in a queue previous night to get a ticket, etc. Well, there nothing. Simply you lend your ear and you hear a music, basically get a satisfaction. It's not an ordinary thing, I tell you. So therefore there are people who want that. So definitely, Tetam Bhuktva, these people, these Sakama Bhaktas, because in verse number 20 it has been described, they are performing some yaga called Soma Yaga. And why do they perform? To go to this heaven. So te means those people who have performed the Soma Yaga. Tam Swargalokam, that Swargaloka which is Vishalam, which is vast. Bhuktva, having experienced that. Having experienced Loka means having experienced the objects of the world. Loka Shabda has been, it has a derivative meaning. Lokyate iti lokaha. Lokyate anubhuyate iti lokaha. That which is experienced is called Loka. So, objects of the world, basically. Tetam Bhuktva, having enjoyed those vast Swargaloka, Kshine Punye, when all the Punya has been exhausted, what happens? Martyalokam Vishanti, they are simply dropped down. And enter the world of mortals. Really. You are enjoying certain things, you are just seeing and enjoying, and suddenly you find yourself in this world. What is that world? Well, here you have this body which has all kinds of pain, birth, childhood, all problems, and people are irritating, and then there are bugs, all kind of bugs and viruses are there. You are just dropped, you find here. What you can imagine a situation where you were and where you come down, So basically, the death is a reality here, change is a reality. So they enter again the very same place from which they sought to escape. That's how they did. They did yajna for what? Getting punya. For what? Going there. But they are dropped. So that's how I said it is a snake and ladder game or ladder and snake game. You go there and return. So they return to square one. So why this discussion? Because ultimately one develops a little dispassion and viveka for those kind of things, and one really desires something which is eternal, moksha, etc. So basically, Shastra always tries to drive you to a corner from where you really see the importance of moksha. For that purpose only it has been narrated. So the cause for these people basically going to heaven, etc., is a punyam, and their stay will last as long as punyam will be there. When physical body also enjoys, they enjoy in heaven, is also earned by this punya karma, etc. And every experience, gaining that body also and having a certain experience also is all, you are spending your own earning called punyam, which you have earned through that karma, ritual, etc. And then you come back to this Martyaloka. And here, the Swarga, etc., is called immortal, but it is a relatively immortal because the life, the time scale is different. And it is true. We feel it's all humbug. It's not humbug. If you go to even moon, the nearest object from the earth, 3 lakhs kilometer or something. Well, even if you go there, time scale is different. Here it's a 24 hours total, and that 12 hours, days and night, etc. There it is different. If you go to Jupiter, time scale is different. It's different. Therefore, this is also loka where time scale is different. Where 1 human year is 1 day of a devatas. And you, as a devata also, you live for a number of years. Vishalam. For a lot many years compared to this world. Definitely, that's how it is called immortal. But really it is not a totally timeless thing. Definitely. So, and other theologies have got this idea of eternal heaven, etc. from this. Yeah. Because Veda is a basis. Veda, that is for sure. All the historians have accepted without doubt that the Vedas are the oldest scriptures here on this earth. That has been accepted. And those Vedas have a description of this Swarga. So later religions talk about eternal heaven, etc. is based on this. We can say that. Anyway. And so, once the punyam got exhausted, they come back. And you cannot extend your stay there because, no, I will earn some more punya there and I can stay there. No, you cannot. Because as a devatas, you don't have a free will. You can enjoy. You have a body in which you enjoy the world. But like our animals here, they experience world. They cannot create, they don't have a free will. They cannot create a new karmas or new punya papas, etc. If that is the case, cow will be the most pious and most she must be the earning punya in abundance because she is giving everyday milk and she is giving cow dung and she is giving that and grace and everything, right? So she is earning a lot of punya, Swamiji. No punya, no free will. They are designed, they are programmed to give that way and they experience this world based on their karmas. They entered into that body, etc. Therefore, same way Devatas also like that. Human body is the only one where one has a free will, one can do karma in keeping with dharma or adharma and earn punyam and papam. That's for sure. So they cannot earn, these devatas cannot earn. I will stay back, Swamiji. Nobody cannot. You cannot. So this is how it is. So you will come back. Kshine punye martyalokam vishanti. You are just dropped here. So, and what kind of people they are? Evam trayi dharmam anuprapannaha. These people who are doing Sakam Bhakti, well, evam means in this manner. Means those who follow rituals enjoined by the 3 Vedas. Evam means in this manner. That was, this manner means which has performed a yaga, etc. as described in the verse 20. So, doing these Vedic rituals like that Soma ritual, etc., and avoiding wrong action, definitely they earned punya and went there, but they have come back. And Trayi Dharma, I want to say about that. Trayi means 3 Vedas. Rig Veda, Yajurveda and Samaveda. And we generally keep Atharva Veda away from this, because Atharva Veda has rituals are not generally which are really desirable kind of a thing. And therefore, the devatas are different, the karmas are different. Generally, it is Trai, Rik, Yaju and Sama. And Trai Dharma means the karmas, the rituals prescribed in that three Vedas. Doing that. So, Dharma has a many meaning we should understand. Dharma means both a view of life and a way of life actually. That's how Vedic Dharma does not mean Vedic religion. Because when a religion, when you say, it is not, it is in, generally we use word religion. Here in America they don't use even religion, faith they say. So, but basically religion means it is in a sense of a belief propounded by someone. So Vedic Dharma, basically Veda contains something, Veda talks about this Atma which is Brahman etc., which is not a matter of a belief, it is matter to be known. And therefore, so Veda contains a vision of life and they offer a way of life. That's called Dharma, one of the meaning of Dharma. To achieve that vision, we have a way of life also. Like in terms of a karma, upasana and jnanam. This is the way. And in common parlance, the another meaning of dharma is anything which is to be done in a given situation. We call duty, etc. is also called dharma. So an individual's duty in a given situation is called swadharma. An individual's duty in a given society is called varnashram dharma. Of course, it is now gone. The spirit is there, but that's called varnashram dharma. So, then the another meaning of dharma is essential property of a given thing is called dharma. Like heat is an essential property of the fire. So, heat is called dharma. The sweetness of the sugar is called dharma. Madhuryam is called dharma of a given thing. So, this is another meaning. So, and dharma also means a moral order. That's also called dharma. So there are several meanings, but here evam trai dharmam. So here dharma means basically a karma prescribed in prescribed in three Vedas. But Swamiji, why that Vedic karma, the ritual is called dharma? Because it is in keeping with the dharma, moral order. When Shastra tells you to do something, it is always in keeping with the moral order, not hurting the rights of others. You are performing a certain ritual, you are not hurting anybody's right. You are not depriving anybody's from their rights, etc. Right? Not hurting anyone. And therefore, it is dharmat anapetam dharmam, etc. So, Vedic karmas which are in keeping with a moral order is also called dharma. So, here that is that. So, evam trai dharmam anuprapannaha. Anuprapannaha means these people pursue, these people follow up those rituals for legitimate enjoyments. Now in the Swamiji, but in Veda there is our Upanishads are also there. You say Veda means karma, but then Jnanam also is there. But we cannot take that meaning here because Bhagavan is talking about the people who are going to Swarga and Kshine Punye Martyalokam Vishanti etc. They come back etc. So he is talking about the people who are performing those karmas, and therefore here, even though dharma includes even a Atma Jnanam, which is also part of the Veda, we cannot talk about that here because the context is regarding karma only, rituals only. So he gives a description of only those peoples, and I told you in general it is a Sakam Bhakta. And very clearly Bhagavan says, clarifies it, Kama Kamaha. These people are Kama Kamaha. Kama Kamaha means, well, Kama means actually a desire. A thought process by which you desire an object is called Kamaha. But that we cannot take here. The another meaning of Kama is a desirable object. So, Kama Kamaha means where basically Kaman Kamayanti iti Kama Kamaha. Kaman Kamayanti. So, basically you desire something. Then you desire some object which is desirable for you. So, here Kama means basically a desirable object. Nobody desires a desire. So kama kaman kamanti. I desire a desire. It is already there. Why should I desire? Desire is already there. But I desire a desirable object. And everyone has a different, a list of what is desired by me, etc. And that's how for me, even if I go to a shopping mall, etc., there are many things which I cannot desire. And that is one thing, that is comb. I don't need a comb already because, so it's not a desirable object for me anyway. So everyone has a bucket list that this is what I desire. So kama means those people who have basically these rituals they are doing because they want to go to Swarga. That's a desirable for them, etc. Further things are there. I will come back and talk to you. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.